I just got home. I'm 12-hour shift. Haven't done a Chiller 7 in forever. I almost feel as if I've been neglecting you guys. The Chiller 7s were super popular right off the bat. People really enjoyed them. People thought we were covering some really cool, interesting tidbits about like the lore, about like some situations or what have you. There is just so much to talk about any given time. I think like a flamenco of you know the kill stream fame has been like exposed as a hardcore loliconics. Not that like we didn't already know that, but there was there was like this very real like it's very difficult to keep track of everything that happens, to keep up with everything when you're like as busy as I am. But like I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. I'm trying to cover situations as they come up, and I'm trying to address certain things as they happen. And one of the interesting things about Rekieta Law is that, like, more and more, it's starting to feel as if his best friend Drexel is getting dragged into his controversies. He is getting dragged into the autism. He is getting dragged into lolcowdom, and this is very well deserved, I would say. It's really odd looking back on this, just how long Nick and Drexel were able to keep up this farce, that like they were able to like pretend that they were normal people with normal relationships who had perfectly reasonable views when it came to like social issues, particularly like ones between men and women. Like these are the guys who did hours and hours of live streams talking about like the problems with the modern female, the problems with the dating scene, the problems with swinger culture. Like these are guys who wanted to convince you that they were knowledgeable, that they were in the know, that they were red pilled about women, red pilled about sex, like red pilled about like marriage and like the modern dating market. Like these guys knew everything there was to know because Drexel has been there. He's done that. He's banged women from all over the globe. He is an absolute legend. A true one percenter. Fuck that like 20% thing. No, Drexel's in like the 1%. 6 feet tall, six pack abs, six-figure income. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, fitting like the 777 program. Like just like just having more than the average male because he is just that much better than the competition. He is better than like the vast majority of the incels who watch and like subscribe and like donate to Rekeita. Like these guys will donate hundreds of dollars of super chats just to hear Drexel tell stories about all the women he's banged over the years. That is the current situation that we're in now, is that like more and more people are starting to see through this as like being kind of no different, I would say, than like the typical pickup artist kind of like scam, right? Where like you have this guy who is like mildly successful with women. By that I mean like he can like go out and like get someone to have sex with someone, right? Like which is significantly more than the average incel in the Rekeita audience, right? Like this is a guy who has like been able to build a reputation as like an alpha male, a player, like one of someone who gets what he wants from women. And like as a result of this, like a lot of these people who kind of glamorize that lifestyle but can't have it for themselves are just like flock to him like moths to a flame, right? The reputation as like an let me see. Like yeah, I was not paying. Okay, hang on. Okay, these guys just flock to him like moths to a flame, right? Like these guys are just so like enamored with like the idea of like being this head of a swingers club, head of like this head of this like this big YouTube channel, like this you know this guy who is consistently able to nail women, like whoever wants, like allegedly, right? Like people just believe that this lifestyle is like obtainable and something that they can have. And like, if only they were just like Drexel, if only they were as alpha, if only they had as much money, if only they were as tall, if only, if only. Like, this is the kind of mindset, like, this is the kind of thing that we've seen like over and over again. It really is, at its core, I would say, no different than Andrew Tate, right? It is the same kind of mindset, it's the same kind of people, it's the same kind of behavior. Even though we keep seeing like a repeat of the same thing over and over and over again. Like, I'm not like the others. I'm not like those guys. I'm different. I tell you how it really is, right? Like, that is the mindset we consistently see with Drexel, with Rekeita Law, like enabling his behavior. And like, I talked about this a little bit before, but like Nick and Drexel kind of like back each other up when it comes to their nonsense, right? Like Drexel enables like the idea that like Nick and Kayla need to like spice up their marriage and get into like cuckoldry and like hedonism and stuff like that, while like Nick does this thing where he tries to pretend that like Drexel is this upstanding citizen who does absolutely nothing wrong whatsoever. But there has been, like, over the past couple of days, I think, like, interesting developments when it comes to the Drexel saga. Let me see here. There have been a number of interesting developments when it comes to the Drexel saga, specifically the fact that he's had a lot of public spurg outs in regards to Kiwi Farms. Now, this is nothing new. Like, this has been something that like these guys have been leaning to for a little bit, because they have this tendency to like blame Kiwi Farms for everything that's been wrong that's been happening to the channel, to like the over and out analysis of what they've been saying, of like, accusing him of being a groomer. He is, of like, doing all this stuff. But like, it isn't the farms. I do think I really need to emphasize this. Like, if anything, I think like the farms did everything possible to defend Rekeita from his detractors for a long time. Like, it wasn't until like this year, right, that the farms started like coming after them and started like talking about this kind of stuff. But before that, back when they were red flags back in 2021, 2020, 2019, 2018, like when the red flags were very evident right from the beginning, nobody really noticed or cared, right? Like the vast majority of the Kiwi farms, of the community, of the people like surrounding this stuff, desperately tried to pretend as if there was nothing wrong with what Nick Rekieta was doing. They were doing everything they possibly could to like damage control him, to like to whitewash his like legal career, his background, the things he said on stream, the way he handled certain high profile cases, ambushing Tankasal on stream, getting his buddy Ty Beard to come on with Vic, to represent Vic Mignogna for like his own gain, misrepresenting like the Kyle Rittenhouse case, like pretending that his attorney was sabotaging the case. Um, Out of like malice for his client. Like there are like all these examples of things he's done, right, that the Kiwi Farms tried to ignore. And until like the whole Baldo thing like took off, that people realized just how far this his persona of being like a conservative Christian, like uh family man, right? How far that was from their reality. Like, until that became a known thing, like nobody really addressed like the problems with Nick Rekieta, right? This has nothing to do with Kiwi Farms at all. Like, this has everything to do with Nick Rekieta like alienating his audience and just like antagonizing essentially everyone who built up his channel. And those people are your lifeblood. Those are the people who represent your who are donating to you, who are watching your content, who like you as a person, who want to support you. But like, you have to uphold your end of the bargain. You can't just do whatever you want, right? You have to like entertain your audience and put out good, meaningful, entertaining content. And he didn't want to do that, right? He was a big forerunner when it came to like legal analysis on YouTube, right? Being able to monetize it through the super chat system and like things like that. like he was a big like trailblazer in that regard, but now it feels like more people are like who do it better than he does, who have like more legal expertise than he does, and are more happy to do it than he does, right? And that has led to his reputation just tanking over the past year. Like it's not just like the it's not just like the degeneracy. It's not just like everything he's done. Like it it's just the growing realization among the audience that this guy is not who he says to be. And like a big proponent to the a big reason why we thought Nick was like someone completely different than he turned out to be was Drexel. Damage controlling every step of the way, like trying to like pretend as if like what Nick was doing was normal, that there was nothing wrong with it, that like yeah, yada yada. Like Drexel was there like every step of the way, like trying to pretend as if like Nick's behavior was acceptable, right? Like especially when we started segueing into like the sexual shit. Like this was the thing that like really got people like invested in the Drexel thing. Like how he was like, despite his claims of like, oh, I would never let a friend like become a degenerate. I would talk to him about it. I would stop him. Like when it started finally happening to Nick, like when he started being open about his degeneracy, right? When like he goes to Jamaica for like the sex resorts, when like he's involved with like he has these sex toys. Like we know like what's happening. We know he's like becoming like everything he said he hated, right? Like he's becoming Jack Murphy, right? And we find that like the people closest to him, his wife and his best friend, are enabling this behavior, and as a result of it, despite like the clear mental decline, in spite of like the clear issues, in spite of everything that's been happening, like Drexel has been there trying to damage control the situation for the longest time. And recently it feels as if things are coming to a head. We're seeing like we're getting very close to a major breakdown in the case of in this specific situation. Like I think Drexel is getting very very uppity about like some of the allegations lobbied at him from Kiwi Farms. Like um, over the past day, there's been a lot of new realizations among the community. Like not necessarily new, because I'm sure people like have put this together a long time ago. Like it's kind of like what I was just saying, right? Where a lot of people like noticed these things about Nick and Drexel back in the day, but like they never really gained traction. And recently, um, it's kind of becoming more well known. I felt this for a long time that Drexel isn't nearly as successful as he claims he is, right? Like there was always this indication that like the chicks he gets with were trashy and not really worth anyone's time, and like the entire reason he brags about it so much, being with all these women, was like purely as a status symbol thing. Like it's not like he's like banging these top tier like desirable women. Like he's like getting whatever he can get, right? Like as many as possible. Like that's his lifestyle. That's what he likes doing. But like and he likes bragging about it, right? Like he likes implying that this stuff is way more fulfilling and like satisfying for him than like anything else in his life. Let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to find like when the breakdown started. Was it like a little bit further on? I'm sorry. It's kind of difficult to do this stuff live because like you're just like you go off on tangents like explaining the lore and like explaining everything. Okay. Let's see. Why does he look so short? No. Did Drexel just get bullied into humiliating himself with a baldo? Wait, what? I want to click on this? Shout out to Kiwi Farms, future self-deletion, homeless, incel shooter, and trans maxing enthusiasts. Great drawing on that Baldo, though. I'm getting the vibrating one and doing a sex toy review while reading your BS comments. Toodles. Clappy noise. Put on the Baldo, Josh, and all will be forgiven. Oh, wow. Oh, no. So, like, a sex toy review. Oh, man. Okay. Like, really? Like, if your BBC is like that great, like why would you need a sex toy? Like I don't understand. Like I've never done any. I've never used sex toys. Obviously, it's like 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 why are you so like? I don't understand like the desire to use something like this. It's just like why? It's so ridiculous in and of itself. But yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, I don't know what is the context of this? Yeah, shout out to Kiwi Farms. For some reason, he's been like going after Kiwi Farms lately. I think because of like the grooming allegations. Well, I say allegations, but like we know what happened. Um, let's see, what's the other image? Also, get my physique right. The projection is real. I'm not an ugly, no neck incel looking motherfucker. Yeah, you don't look like an incel, but you are one. Hey, Josh Moon, get your incel army to draw me better. Before and after I bust my kids on your mom's face. Oh no. Show your face and body, chaos suckers. So he has to like, what is this? He's like taking a photo of himself like a mile away. Like, just like you can't like admire like your physique from that distance, Drexel. I have no idea. He looks like kind of chubby from this distance. Oh, whatever. Yeah, I'm just gonna assume those like bulging muscles are just layers and layers of fat. But okay. All of Drex's tweets about KF today. Yeah, okay. Okay, there's one more. I think this is it. Seriously, Kiwi Spurgs. This mutant fish person looks nothing like me. Where's my damn Kangol? Josh Moon, tell your people to caricature me better. Here you go. P.S. The pig is hilarious, though. Well done. So he doesn't like the he doesn't like like the way he's like drawn in that. Okay. Wide angle view to show off the bathroom, I guess. Guy is dumber than a bag of rocks. This is on par with Gavin McInes shoving a dildo up his ass to own the libs. I hope he makes that review public and not just for his gay PUA Discord. Drexel is such a laughably stereotypical monkey. Ook ook, look, I'm a big ook. But dick, I'm a fuck your mom, slip slurp, moo dick, big snood. He's hilarious, one track mind, just bouncing between the standard ooking like a speak and spell. What an insecure ook ook, me boog. Oh, Kiwi Farms. Oh, Kiwi Farms. Grade school banter. Massive beta energy. Dick 100% broken. Hence needing Baldo use. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was like the story he told a while back about how like he made out in a with a tranny in a club and that like gave him like ED for like a year or something. So it's not even like an unprecedented thing. He's like admitted to this before. But anyway, grade school ban. Okay, Drexel can't get it up. Confirmed. To clarify, Drexel is a beta ass who needs to use sex toys to make up for his broken, non-functioning penis, as he pleasures sensitive, sexually liberated grandmas for a quick side buck. The Baldo comic is golden. It looks like he's having a sort of mini meltdown today. Thanks for putting a big bullseye on what bothers you. He is sitting down. His right hand is invisible. He is jerking it, thinking about grooming Nick's kids. Don't be sad, Drex. Hear my interpretation. Oh no. Oh no. But Dick. He's finally told me how it is to be. I guess it really is peak masculinity to stuff your balls in the cuck cage. Ultimate Giga Chad ballgasm machine. I can only wish the review will be in video form so that I'm able to fully appreciate what true MGTOW energy looks like. The obligatory mention of ma physique is also very original and persuasive, almost as much as using. Wait, what? I don't even understand. Is that like dick pics or I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean. Pictograms, I guess they're called, to refer to the process of ejaculating on Null's mom's face. Very stereotype defying. What a dumb motherfucker. I can't wait for Null to read these on the next podcast. I am curious what Null's gonna make of all this. It's interesting seeing like the Null and Drexel thing like escalate. Let's see. I'll accept your challenge. And wait, no, it isn't time to look hard. He just looks like your average overweight black nerd showing off his Pokemon cards. What does he expect us to say? You got a really shiny Baldosaur. Null should probably do another census, but I bet most Kiwi users have kids, especially after this place got banished to the dark web. Remember what discussion forums were like in 1990s. This place is a shadow of even those glorious melting pots of autism. So figuring out how to use Tor took all of 5 minutes, mainly because I never had a reason to use Tor until the Troons decided to send us out into the wilderness. Let's see. From my mindless observations, most Kiwi farmers seem to fall into two camps: doomers, zoomers, and disenchanted millennials who hate their generation and need a place to scream. Let's see. Let's see. I don't get how Rockets can claim that Drexel doesn't care about what we post here after stuff like this. Seems pretty mad at the internet. Yeah, they keep saying that like the stuff they talk about on there doesn't bother them, that it's not a big deal, but like they will not shut up about it. Like every single time, like it makes it seem like they're mad. Like every single time this thing like kind of gets to them, they like spurg out about it. It's crazy. Drexel's odd, dude. He only wants people who are his friends to call him Drexel, but his name is Drexel. What does he want us to call him? Also, I remember Drexel telling a story in his podcast where he did something with a yeah, I just talked about that. That would have been a funny story, but that story got became weirder to me. A year later, when he made a statement about hang on, okay. Have you seen him play He Doesn't Care repeatedly during oh yeah, we just talked about that. He's just bald. Man calls cop on friends after both pass playground and his friend says that one has potential. No. Oh no. He is puckering his lips. He is puckering his lips so they don't look as big because of the comic. Putting your nuts in a vice and vibrating them to own strangers online is one way to claim control of the conversation. He obviously has beat on his bones, but how is he able to do a girl angle selfie? Let's see. As a reminder, Drexel heard about the Baldo first, but Nick was the one eager to try it before he did. Nick went into practical panegyrics for it. Many thought it was a meme, but it was more genuine eagerness. Uh, Drex, who are Kiwi farms and what kind of people are in there? They say you're a grooming degenerate swinger, low IQ, insecure guy who owns a PUA Discord. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Moon's Kiwi Farms. Okay. Okay. He's chipping out unprovoked without me leaking anything first. All right, let's see if there's anything good here. No, a projection? Here, y'all. Null talking about gasp, his non-functioning penis. Zoom in let's see. Let's see. The more time he's chimping out the comments here is less time he's grooming someone's daughter. Yeah, the Kiwi Forums is doing legit good in the world. No idea. Never ran one before. Don't know what payment options GFM can process. Might be a system limitation. Maybe we should like look at a list of clips and see if she has any coverage of. You know that wearing a Kangol. What the hell was a Kangol? Like, I am so out of touch with the lore. Like, I'm just like, okay, I'm trying to get back into it. It's why I'm doing the live stream. It's why I'm trying. Let's see. Drexel is actually buck broken by being called a groomer. Yeah, that seems to be like what kicked this off. Is like the uh, the realization or like the acceptance among the community that like this man can be considered a groomer. Let's see. Hmm. He kind of looks like those unrealistically roided up models that are used in the Sigma Chad memes. I don't mean this in a good way at all. I also noticed the bump. The picture is comical for many reasons. Maybe just me, but I never find the shiny hairless professional bodybuilder type attractive. They look absurd, like a caricature, and weirdly inhuman. Let's see. Let's see. Ah, oh no. Oh no. Let's see. Is that Null? I don't know who this is, but okay. Okay. With these recent chip outs and sketchy past that has been uncovered. However, I think the onomatopoeia being used to mock him is way funnier. Whoever started the look at my dick, ooga booga, got it down pat. The sounds of those words are fantastic for describing what may be swirling around his head. Oh, oh, no. That's terrible. That is terrible. Unbelievable. Let's see. He loves a good caricature with all the mocking sounds that go with. I just assume he's making fun of himself most of the time, since most narcissists are stuck in a permanent internal dialogue and thus often end up pulling in other enforcements into their bullshit. Nick is no different. If he can't take a joke, he can fuck off. Seriously, Drex uses GTA NPC level logic, and people rightfully are making fun of him for it. Looking at his ego and how he behaves, Drexel seems like a serious candidate for the Internet Tough Guys board. Say what you want about other cows, but I don't think any of them would think to stick their balls into some sort of crazy contraption to own the farms. This is unironically the funniest thing I've seen in months. Imagine spouting so much hate, so much stupidity, vitriol, and neighborisms, only to retweet the dude you should be aware your best friend is fighting against. But I guess this is also where I go off and ask Drexel. I know you're reading this thread and it apparently angers you. I offer you a very simple question in regards to your supposed best friend's behavior and actions. Why is he not defending a brother from another mother from a Mexican and his bald gringo pet's retardism? Am I the only one looking at that locker room picture and seeing something off with it? The proportions look really odd, like his head is two-thirds the fucking size it should be. I don't know. Something about it just makes my brain think edited. Does anybody have a second torso pic of Drexel to overlay on it? Uh, let's look at the video again. The picture again. I'm not like a bodybuilder, so I don't know what like normal physiques look like, but I did think it kind of looked odd too. Like, am I the only one who thought that? But this is as typical low-cal behavior as it gets. Drexel saw a bunch of people pointing knives at him and failed to realize that the ones he should watch out for the most are going to hide it behind their back. A simple Google search of the name Steve Quest would have made him realize that this was his Baldo brother's archenemy. How could a man of such high intellect like Drexel could fall for something so dumb? He is a pretty sad sack, all things considered. Let's do a bit of surface level dive on the groomer. He claims to be on the top 1% of males, as he follows the rule of the three sixes. 6 feet. I have no reason to doubt this. Rackets is quite tall, and Drexel seems to be about that height. Six pack. Plenty of evidence. He does take care of for very good of his physique. Six figures. Just for the sake of argument, I will accept this as true. Have not seen much of any evidence to the contrary. Yet, having achieved the top of the male mountain, do you see a confident man? Nay, Drexel has no long-term partners, no family to speak of. He has achieved his autistic metrics, yet his abrasive, insufferable personality has seen him start a gay rat king of beta bitches that is impervious in its circle-jerking faggotry and exists solely to service the king nothing of Shit Mountain that is the ruler of MGTOWN. No matter what he does, Drexel is still a loser. A beta cock who has resort to grooming to smash blocks, he is the equivalent of a pile of shit with three gold nuggets buried within. Something only the most desperate, low-value skanks will bother with, to wait in refuse just long enough to collect those nuggets and quickly leave. It's like everyone on Kiwi Farms is low-tier god. Just like coming up with this like insane nonsense just on the fly like this. It's hilarious. This is why he can't stop reading and replying. He is deeply bothered that being a high value top 1% male, things that still don't go his way. Because he is and will forever be an insecure little bitch, and there's nothing that dries box faster than that. He is the quintessential tough guy. Is Drexel and Null Nick winning the culture war? Degeneracy is our strength. Drexel, why are you taking pictures of women in the gym while they work out? Kind of creepy. Yeah, this is actually the reason I wanted to fire up the stream because I saw this. And this is something that like I have I've heard him talk about this before. Like I just made a community post about this. I remember like years and years ago he was talking about like taking a photo of like this midget he wanted to have like a two and a half some yet with. Like does anyone else remember this? Like am I just making it up? It seems like a fever dream whenever I talk about some of the crazy stuff this guy's come up with. But like I was like remember this and like I remembered that like yeah, he was talking about taking pictures of her. So like I didn't really think about it at the time, but like yeah, he's legit like taking creep shots of women in the gym. And like why? Like it's just like that's such like disgusting behavior. Like he is honestly just a complete stereotype. It's bad enough that you're taking pictures of women behind their back, but you're posting them onto the internet for your little group to jerk off to. Disgusting behavior. Yeah, not only is he like taking these pictures, he's posting them to his Discord. Like he's taking pictures of random women in the gym and just like posting them online. Like that's the kind of stuff you see on like what's the board? Like there's a board for that kind of thing on does B do it? Like I don't know. But like you'll see like people do that on like some Forge fan boards, and it's like it's generally considered to be like a disgusting practice, even among like a big amount of the anonymous community. I agree that like it is disgusting, right? Like I'm very much against that kind of stuff. I've seen like I don't know. I saw one once where like the girl realized what was happening and she just had this like disgusted look on her face. And I'm just like, it's like wow. Like yeah, you don't do this. Like you just never you just don't do it. It's like obnoxious. It's disrespectful. It's just like, wow, awful. I gotta show them Kiwi farmers how wrong they are. They are just jelly in my bald, old black man physique. I am gonna show them by reviewing the infamous Baldo while reading the thread. Can you act any more like a stereotypical low IQ, sex addicted man child? Whoever did that caricature, great job. You definitely got under his skin. That's just the worst. Thanks for being a piece of shit that confirms women's fears of being crept on by men, Drexel. Yeah, like this is the guy who will like come out and try to tell you that like, oh, nobody's creeping on these women, like nobody's getting raped, like these women aren't having like negative interactions with men. They're just making it up. And yet, like when you actually look between the lines, when you see like how he interacts with people, how he interacts with women, like how he treats them, like the things he does, like this, like you start getting this picture of like he's not upset. The reason he's so upset about women calling out the creeps is that like he absolutely is one of them, right? He absolutely is the kind of person who does all of the things that like these kind of women complain about. Like he is a stereotype. Drexel's acting like a man child with his chimp outs and taking creep shots at women. Ring up Patrick because Drexel is now officially the first example of an actual stalker child. This is creepy as fuck. And this is coming from a guy that is normally called creepy. That'd probably get him banned from that gym if they found out. Yeah, I wonder if that's true. Drexel is a grade A certified creep, grooming and now following women around to take creep shots of their ass. I don't think Drexel is a player. I think he's a perv. He's the kind of low status, sub beta man that sexually harasses women to get off. It is a shame guys like this exist. The world would be a lot happier if women didn't have to look out for guys like Drexel. Like that is interesting. Like, is would he be considered low status? I like the narrative like his claim has always been that like he's high status, right? Like because of like he fits like the 666 program, right? Which in my experience has never been true. Like I'm not 6 foot. I've never I'm not like making six figures yet. Don't have six pack abs yet. Like I don't have the things that like these people say that you need to have to be in like the top 20%, and yet like I have no problem like meeting great women, right? Like no problem at all. And like you have to wonder like um how how much is like what he says like accurate, when it comes to these kind of things, because he's made like if he's like so obsessed, if he's following women around the gym and like taking pictures, like that's the kind of thing that like incels do, right? So like it's like, okay, is he actually having as much sex as he says he does? Like why is he so obsessed with like random women if he has like women all over the country that he can just bang with, like bang on like why does he need to have the swingers club? Like why does he need to call up the boys whenever like somebody like some chick wants to get ran through? Like why? Like it feels like to me that like he's not nearly as high status as like he likes to pretend he is, right? Like he says he's in the 1%. Like I considering his behavior, I don't think so. Like this is my kind of thing. This is my mindset. Like why do you I feel like if your goal when interacting with women is to have I feel like if your goal when interacting with women is to have sex, like that specifically, like you don't care about anything else. You don't care about like her as a person, or what like whether you enjoy her company or not, or like her, or like share values or whatever. Like if all you care about is sex, you're like failing before you even started, right? Like that's kind of my mindset. That's my issue with him as a person, is that like all of his problems would be fixed if you stop like revolving your entire relationships with women around sex, right? Like just treat her like an actual human being, right? Treat them like actual human beings, right? Let's see. The only good, okay. Seems like the more funny stuff happened when I was went to sleep early. Drex retweeting the Monty Gold Fund me is just gold. Plus, someone else dropping some stuff I hadn't seen in Drex's Discord is also great. I usually don't sift through out of the main channel, but I might have to if the Goat Man doesn't do it more often. Anyway, it looks like some of Drex's Discord members saw his Twitter chimp out a bit late, but they do have something to say. Drex also thinks he has a mole relaying him KF screenshots as if it was a closed secret club like his Discord. Let's see. Is this anything interesting? On my worst day, I look better than 100% of KF. Like, you don't know anything about the user base here. Like, uh, I'm keeping my foot on their neck. Fuck them. I've got more dirt on Null. The CP on the farms that he allowed. Okay, I'm gonna press like a big X up the down on that. Like, like that is like major. Like, oh man, 8chan is totally hosting CP guys. Like, same mindset, right? Like same like, oh, we're gonna get this taken down by like pretending that the this website is hosting illegal material. Like it's weird. Not that I don't believe that like Kiwi Farms has been like doing some things illegal, like some illegal things, like retaining information that they shouldn't have a right to, like things like that. Like there are definitely things I think Kiwi Farms does that's like shady, but like I no, like okay, I think we're gonna let's see. Okay, I guess we'll see what Alyssa Clips has to say. Rekeita's not. Yeah, I guess we could like we were talking about Drex specifically because there was like a lot of things to talk about, but like I guess we can like watch some Alyssa clips. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I've watched any of this. So why Josh hates Drex? Yeah, I've seen this a couple. Okay, so I haven't seen the newer ones. Okay, okay, let's go ahead and see what this is.
Nikki941 says, as someone who worked in a liquor store, I found the one who called you an alcoholic yesterday hilarious. The amount of wine or liquor the real alcoholics can put away will blow your mind. Cheers. Look, I appreciate the sentiment. I don't. There's no point in arguing against it. You can't convince someone that you're not doing something to the level that they think. There's no way. Like, prove to me.
We've seen you drink on stream. We know how much we drink. We know you're an alcoholic. Like the only real question is like why you're such denial about it. Like we've been seeing this for a long time, but um, this has been obvious to a lot of people for years now. But like he's still in denial about alcohol being an alcoholic. He's still in denial about being a cuck, right? Like he's still in denial about a lot of things about his personal life. But
You're not drinking enough or enough to be an alcoholic. And you're like, well, I mean, I don't think so. I've seen other people drink a lot more. And they're like, see. It's like, what? See what? I don't know what to tell you. I don't, I don't know, man. My definition of addiction is one, an unrelenting desire for a thing, right? That's part of it. Uh, two, that then takes control and impacts what you do in some way or another. It impacts your family life, your social life.
yeah, it is impacting his life, right? There are times on stream where you can tell he's like clearly drunk out of his mind, and it's like it's ruining the pacing of his streams. Like he's gotten sick on stream before. Like it is impacting his personal life. He just isn't admitting it.
Your employment or economic life. So yeah, right. Like drug addicts who spend all their money on drugs. That's an impact. I think that it's now affecting your life, right? Like that's a problem. Um, I don't think personally that my alcohol consumption gets there. I have certainly overconsumed alcohol from time to time. No bones about that. There are specific times that I've mentioned on the show. Um, but, like it's not something that I wait and crave for, except for right now when I'm going to pour myself whiskey because we're talking about.
Yeah, just right now. Oh, I'm not always thirsty for alcohol, but right now I am. Yeah, during a whole spiel where he's trying to like convince us that he's not an alcoholic. That's hilarious.
About it, and I can't not do it.
Yeah, because you're an
But
addict. Like
I
you're an
don't even.
alcoholic by your
I don't
own
want.
definition. Like it's this kind of thing that's so frustrating when watching him. It's like he's so like hypocritical and two-faced. Like you keep seeing this kind of behavior all the time. It's so frustrating.
To argue against people like getting fought in the "you're an addict, no, I'm not" trap is an impossible discussion. Speaking as someone who was formerly addicted to a particular video game, admittedly and unironically, and knowing how like there is no level of thing you can do to convince an addict they're addicted, but similarly there's no thing you can
What?
say to argue against addiction.
The lack of self awareness is incredible. Like I can't believe he's like seriously trying to tell us this with a straight face. Like, oh, an addict wouldn't admit they're an addict, and then he just goes ahead and like pours himself a drink. Like, what a douchebag!
Convincingly because everything sounds like a justification for your addiction. So people will make their own determinations, and
I'm glad Alyssa Clips exists. This is crazy. This is gold.
I'll just be here drinking whiskey. No one cares. No, believe me. Fuck the New World Order. There's someone out there who very much cares right now, seething, seething about it. And it is fucking hilarious. Uh, it makes me want to drink more. Unironically, I find it so goddamn funny that they have now spent days being not mad about it. Whew. All right.
So
Okay,
the new Star Wars series is so.
hang on. All right. Next video.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to play this video clip from a recent video of Eric July. That's what I'm going to do. All right. And anybody who.
Is this the guy who's behind that like Christian comic book, like Isom? Like I just saw a PKA clip where like Nick Masterson was talking about it. I'm not like super familiar with the situation, but um, I don't know how Rekieta is involved actually. So I'm hoping this will enlighten me a little bit.
Has listened to me and knows me about this particular issue, knows my position. I think that's there. So what I'm going to do is say
I don't
this.
know the
I'm not gonna
position.
reassert my
Explain it.
position. It's been said to death. And I want to keep this a little short, but I'm going to say this. The mask always slips. It always slips. And it always comes down to this. And I've given hints that this is coming. And I just can't wait to watch it unfold because it always unfolds in this exact same way. Every time, without fail. With that, I present to you Eric July in a recent video called How I'm Feeling. You can go check out the whole thing. The first 2 minutes and 15 seconds aren't relevant. I'm going to play from 2 minutes and 15 seconds till when it stops being relevant. It's only 8.5 minutes or just under 9 minutes total, so it won't be too long either way.
I will say this, and I guess this is somewhat serious. From that whole deal, it has been.
I'm only going to pause it to explain that whole deal being. He just said the parties in the trademark lawsuit are talking, and he expects to see that thing progress and resolve. He just can't talk about it yet, and he can't wait till he does. But so that whole thing is the trademark stuff with the Rippaverse. Okay, just with ISOM. All right. So just giving you that context. That's it.
interesting, for lack of better terms, to see how other people are responding to it. People that I've had a lot of respect for as well. And look, I don't require anybody's loyalty. That's kind of corny, especially that's
Right.
not what it is that I require of anybody. But it has been interesting to see, as an example. I have to mention them because I don't want anybody to think that like there's some diss or sneak diss. Like with Nick Rekeita, for example, and I don't think he's nearly as impartial as he thinks of himself, and that's cool, right? He's known the other party, I think, longer than he has me, and I just
Yeah, that's true. Like Nick tends to like side with Dick Masterson on basically every issue, right? This goes back to the Maddox cases. Like this goes back before the YouTube channel when he was like calling into the Dick show, right? Like he is like a big fan of Masterson, which in and of itself is a big red flag. What a hedonistic, like degenerate fuck he actually is. Like I don't disagree with that at all. Like that's it's Nick is a biased source of information. It's a big reason why I've been like warning people away from like taking anything this guy says seriously because he is known to advocate for people that he's in a relationship with, that he has a business partnership with, and like Nick Masterson is absolutely one of those people that he wants to protect.
wish he would just flat out say it, instead of acting like, oh, he's so objective. Mainly because there's things that are going completely unignored as far as the context of what's been happening, as if there hasn't been people that are involved here that have worked overdrive to slander, libel, flat out lie, misrepresent this company, and even do kind of this gay op stuff. And there's proof of it. I'm not just saying on one email or something. I mean, them just flat out admitting what it is that they're trying to do and contacting people, or doing this weird stuff, or trying to incentivize people, and egging them on to try to get in some lawfare, like acting as if that's just not a thing, is very intriguing. And it's not just with him. And the reason why I bring that up is because I have for way too long given people more credit than I probably should have. Okay. And what I mean by that is that the rules for engagement of how they view us being cool is different. Like I, for example, wouldn't do something and they have no problem doing it. And so that doesn't mean that they're in the wrong when they operate the way that they do. It just means that I need to adjust because the rules have been established there. And now, I'm going to do that, right? The only thing that I require there is reciprocity. I certainly will not. I don't want to be getting hit up about stuff and somebody saying, well, we cool, right? We no, like it ain't all good when it's not all good. And let's just
I'm reacting to Rekieta reacting to some other guy, and we're just doing the exact same thing. Unbelievable.
be honest. There is really all. We're not going to just pretend that type of stuff away. And it's been interesting seeing people operate the way that they have, like I haven't seen it, and I have seen it, and I'm going to just start acting accordingly. But there have some people that have rocked with me, that have always rocked with me. The whole Friday Night Ties crew, Gary, as all.
Hmm. 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 I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if people know the definitions of the words that they use. I said I'm going to avoid even restating my position on this. I don't think it needs to be said. Let me say this. I have
Ah,
not.
what what a buzzkill! I have no idea what's going on. I can't give commentary on this. I'm out of the loop. I haven't been keeping up with the lore. Damn it, fuck.
Reached out to Eric
I am the worst Rekieta retardation detractor channel ever.
to say, "Are we cool?" I don't know if that's a reference to someone else. I know that I'm the only person named in that segment, but I have not reached out to say, "Hey, are we cool?" or whatever.
I thought he was very clear. He was talking about like his bias with the Dick Masterson side of things, like how like he will always go to bat for Masterson, right? Like he was. I thought it was pretty clear. Like I did a segment about this. Like, is he being disingenuous? Like, is he trying to?
First of all, that's weird. Um, and I haven't hit him up to do anything. I think I tweeted publicly that he had said he didn't want to be invited onto any show to talk about the lawsuit. And I think I tweeted publicly in response that, like, people are welcome to come on my show to address something that's said by someone else. I don't want to give one side or another, but I didn't want to invite Eric on with the idea that he would be talking about a lawsuit that he was going to be potentially engaged in. I didn't want to mess anything up. I didn't want to do anything with that. I never want to fuck anybody's lawsuit stuff up. But I said,
Oh
again,
yeah,
all this
sure. Yeah, tell that to Vic. Tell that to like tell that to like Kyle talking about like sensitive stuff he's not supposed to talk about. Like, come the fuck
is
on.
public. I said, but Eric, if you did want to come on, hit me up. Of course, you'd be welcome to come say your side. But I did not DM him. I didn't like say, hey man, we cool. We do this. I've always said, I like Eric. I think he's a good dude. Wait, I'm getting dangerously close to reasserting my position. I'm not going to. I'm going to let the video speak for itself, and people can make up their own decisions. You can assess what I've said and done, and you can decide whether
I
or
want to look at the
not
comment section for this video.
this is
I want to look at
accurate.
the comment section.
I will say this. I've seen this. I've talked about this every time it happens. Every time it happens, I say this. It happens every time. So, with that, my piece is said. My position is unchanged. I am just me out here. And I have a
You play
feeling
the song, Nick.
that no matter
Tell me
what,
if you play the song.
this will escalate. Unless there's one path that I think that could diffuse this situation. There's one avenue where I think that this situation would disappear very quickly. And unfortunately, I don't think that is reflective of my character to do the one avenue that will successfully diffuse this. But hey, I've said my bit on it. I just find it interesting.
Sounds like a bit of cope to me. Like he's like not being honest about the situation. I've watched enough of this guy where you can kind of pick up on his toes a little bit, but like I don't know enough about this specific circumstance to give my thoughts on it. The mask always slips. Rekieta is right about himself. Yeah, true. I thought the same thing. Did I say the same thing? Like, props to Pepsi Man. Like that is exactly what I was thinking. Nick again steps up to the plate to try and convince us the sky isn't blue. Nick is so capable of saying nothing when he says very little. How Nick has managed to ruin his credibility in less than a year has been amazing. Last year at this time, he was getting kicked off YouTube, and everyone had his back. Doubt you would see that kind of support if it happened to him again. Nick looks like a caricature of a drunk guy because he is a drunk guy. Nick faking total confusion for 3 straight minutes is just so tiresome. Like, what is going? Okay, I'm gonna have to look into this because I have no idea like who Eric July is or like Isom. Like I've seen Masterson talk about this now, and I've seen Rekeita talk about it, but I am not personally aware of who this individual is or what the controversy is. If someone could like give me a rundown on the lore, that would be great. Shit, I am like about to pass out. Like it's like I need to be in bed, but I don't think these
There's to
videos are
say
long.
Josh Moon. No, I've said what I wanted to say about Josh. I have. And I heard his response, and again, it's fine. If you want to see, I made a long post on Locals that very briefly mentions Josh Moon. It's not a he's only an ancillary part of it. The fucking internet collapsed in my sector or whatever right before this Labor Day weekend, and it was really frustrating to see. But that being said, Not like Josh said, but like I will say, I really do like Josh. I wish him well. Obviously, I disagree with him on some things, obviously, but so what? I disagree with tons of people on tons of things, and some people are questioning. I made a post about Kiwi Farms because there was a hit piece that came out from the Washington Post, and the hit piece is really poorly executed. I don't know what happened in the hit piece. You'd expect it to at least have some teeth, and it really doesn't. This is a very gummy Kiwi Farms blowjob in a weird way. But that being said, look, Kiwi Farms and I not on the best terms, which they take weird when I say stuff like that. Like, look, people on there don't like me. It's fine. That's okay. I'm not trying to stop them from not liking me, and I never will ever.
I mean, we just saw Drexel like threaten to take down Kiwi Farms by like claiming they had illegal material on it. Like, I don't know. That's like one step removed from Rekeita himself. So
As much as I disagree with some of the stuff that happens on there, I will never ever stop advocating for its right to exist or Josh Moon's right to be left alone and to just run a website for people to gossip about stuff because that is critically, essentially speech. It always has been, it always will be. And much to my chagrin that Josh thinks I thought of otherwise ever, I never have. But like I said, I'm not here to correct that. I can't correct people's interpretations of what I do or say, and they won't believe me anyway. But no, always will support the Kiwi Farms right to exist. Always will support Josh as the owner of it, and hopefully, we can move past this at some point. But if not, c'est la vie. I'll still.
can't even address a single point Josh raised. Nick held onto his glass like a man holding on for dear life. Really brave of Rekieta to make that tweet about KF. Those 5 minutes must have been backbreaking labor. Okay, what happened over the weekend is that Nick decided to die fighting on two hills named Vito and Drex. He didn't find a lot of support for his position. Nick also sent out a long message where he explained that the problem with the farms is that they drew their own conclusions after gathering facts, rather than asking the cows, like Nick, how the facts should be properly understood. And Nick totally isn't mad about anything. Let's see. Okay, let's move on to the next video. I don't care about Ethan Ralph. I gotta get to bed. Oh, come on. I can't even. Okay, I can't even. Okay. Okay, I think. Yeah, that's. Let's see. Yeah, I've been streaming for an hour. Yeah, that's. Yeah, 13-hour workday. Crazy. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I gotta call it quits. My eyes are giving out. Yeah, fun stream, guys. Like, I wish I could just go longer, but like, I just decided to like come on and just have a good time. Like, talked about like, recent happenings. I've been trying to do this. I swear, I've been trying to make Chiller 7's a regular thing, but it's just been so like it's just been so like time consuming and just everything that's been happening. Trying to get like American Evil. Okay, enough about me. Like, okay, enough about my personal life. Nobody cares about that. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the stream. Wish I could stream longer, but I really